really were the national leader for developing a framework that would ensure consumers can feel confident when they go to an advisor to get advice on annuities or what is appropriate for them in terms of their own financial needs. That they're talking to somebody who will be straight with them and really operate in their best interest. So tell us a little more about that framework.
Yeah, well, Americans, we want to trust and have confidence in our insurance and financial advisor. I think that's what we want. That's what we desire. So at the same time, I think Americans may differ in how they want to access that type of advice. People have different opinions about the amount of risk that they're willing to tolerate and how that can be balanced against their opportunity for gaining and accumulating more wealth. And there is a balance in that. That is, you've heard of the risk and reward balance and how that is calculated. And that really is an individual decision. It's an individual tolerance, and it actually can be heavily dependent upon where you are in life. When you're younger and you're in a different stage of life and you have a little more space between where you are and retirement, you may be able to tolerate a little more risk. So what we did as state insurance regulators is we put our heads together in that way, because although Americans may differ in how they want to access advice, I think they all expect that they're going to get good, high quality advice, and that they'll receive advice that fits their individual circumstances, where they are. And so we work together to develop a best interest regulation that imposes professional obligations on all insurance producers. And we think that's good for Americans and for consumers. So what that standard does is it simply requires that the insurance professional place any interest that they may have behind their loyalty to the needs and objectives of the individual consumer. So it does require the producer to set aside any sort of view that they may have, or that they haven't. We all understand they're going to be compensated, but it does require that they be loyal to the interest and the objectives of the consumer.
Well, I think it's an extra assurance for consumers that are listening to this or thinking about going to a financial advisor, that thanks to you and insurance commissioners, those protections are in place. I will say, when you talk to people who've chosen this profession to be a financial advisor, that they have great personal passion for helping people, that they want to engage and do what's right. So you start with good motives from the advisor, and then you add in these extra protections, and I think people can feel very comfortable that.
Yeah, and Susan, I couldn't agree more with you. I think Americans want from their advisors, they want that interest, that loyalty to the best interest of the consumer. But likewise, I agree with you. The vast majority of financial professionals that I've had the experience of speaking to, and frankly, even being involved with as a regulator, they want the same thing. So I agree with you. And what this standard does is it essentially aligns what is the desire of both parties to that transaction.